It's time to spin to win those Week 14 lineups for the main slate, featuring those 1 and 4 o'clock Eastern games on Sunday. So if you want to spin to win, be at the top of the leaderboard, win some cash or win some tokens, be sure to stick around. I got Brian Drake here to help me break down everything you need to know from a DFS perspective for Week 14 over on Fantasy Spin. Like I mentioned, that is Brian Drake. Find him over on X at Drake Fantasy. So, Drake, as we're looking at this here, the Week 14 slate is full of. Let me be a pessimist. Let me get the negativity out right up front. It's full of injuries. It's full of crappy weather and full of questions of what the hell am I to do at many different positions. So, what just kind of high level overview? What are you looking at from this slate? Whether it be players, weathers, injuries, anything of the sorts.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at last week and you say, where did the offense go in the NFL and in fantasy football? Because there's so many teams that just the quarterback's not throwing for 300 yards. I mean, I think there was double-digit teams that didn't have a receiver over 80 yards as their leading receiver. So I don't know if it's the new kickoff rule that everyone has a short field they're playing from, or it's just the amount of zone defense being played and maybe quarterback play is just not that good, but it is bad here. So, hey, we just want to try to isolate some good positions here. If we can get ourselves a quarterback, God only knows if we can get a stack partner, probably not on this great of a slate, but maybe we look at that Rams game. We can highlight some of those guys. I think they can go off playing in a dome. That could be outstanding. I love the Bucks. I think they're going to be firing on all cylinders, playing a 2-10 Saints team. Which could be some fireworks. I think that Colts-Jags game could shoot out a little bit as well.
Yep. Colts are the offense has kind of struggled a little bit of late. They have played tougher defenses, which hasn't helped, but they are still relatively full with talent on the offensive side of the ball. So we're going to give the board a spin here, and let's go right to the divisional showdown. We get Green Bay and Chicago. We have Josh Jacobs there. The Bears have been prone to allow some pretty big games from running backs, but if Josh Jacobs doesn't score, we're not getting anything from him. He is catching the ball a little bit, which helps, but can we trust Josh Jacobs in this matchup against the Chicago Bears?
Boy, you'd like to say yes. It's tough to get a better. I mean, we were gifted an RB1 here in Josh Jacobs, so it's not like, Kenny Gainwell, who I saw come across, is possibly going to be our guy. I mean, it hasn't been great over the last month. He's dealing with an injury. Last week did get 17 carries. That's a plus. I think you can run the ball a little bit on the Bears. Let's say he gets 15 to 20 carries, falls into the end zone. Now we're at 15 plus points for Josh Jacobs. That's not the worst thing on the slate. Now, I don't think they want Jordan Love dropping back and throwing the ball 30 plus times. That's not how they win games.
Yep. And I'm looking at here over the last 6 weeks per fantasy points data, Bears sixth highest explosive run rate and over 5 yards per carry. So maybe the lack of efficiency we sometimes see with Jacobs can be kind of helped by some inefficiencies from the Chicago side. And here's the thing, we can always unlock someone. So if we get on later and we get a nice spin where maybe we get Puka and Stafford and we want to keep both of those two, we can always come back and unlock Josh Jacobs. Some other names here. Yeah, you actually mentioned it. You weren't sure if we were going to get a good quarterback with a stack partner. We did get a stack partner. We got Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton, but I don't know if I particularly enjoy it. And actually, I don't even know if Sutton's my favorite Denver wide receiver this week.
It's funny. I wrote an article this week and I put Cortland Sutton as a guy to fade, even though it's a great matchup this week against Vegas. I just don't necessarily know if I love Bo Nix all that much because look at what he's done. Yes, last week he threw for 321, kind of in a game, went to overtime and shot out a little bit. But are we going to get multiple touchdowns from Bo Nix? I don't know. Chances are probably not. Like, what's the upside with Bo Nix? Is it, okay, he's going to score us 15 points on a week, which is kind of what he does. I don't know if he's got that max ceiling where we're like, we can win. He's going to drop a 40 burger on us somewhere. So, like, I think I'd rather take my chances with some other quarterback.
I would as well. And even with Cortland Sutton, you look, the Vegas has struggled with those perimeter receivers, but Franklin's targeted more than Sutton when facing zone coverage, and the Raiders love to sit in that. So there's just the wide receiver position is simply too stacked for us to go into a contest here on our first spin on Fantasy Spin and say, yep, Cortland Sutton's my guy. That does not seem to be a winning recipe.
What about A.D. Mitchell? That came up there. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's now leading routes for the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
He saw double-digit targets last week. I think Miami's obviously they've realized that now that it's Mitchell and Mechie on the outside. But listen, if a guy's going to see 12 plus targets a game, and Tyrod Taylor at least can manufacture first downs for this team and keep him on the field, this kid's a big play waiting to happen. I don't know. It's not the craziest thought here to be a little different with A.D. Mitchell. What do you think?
I think I've said it once. I'll say it again. In this case, it'll be with Adonai Mitchell. Adonai Mitchell with 2 spins left looks a lot more attractive than Adonai Mitchell with 9 spins left.
Okay.
I think there's more upside. The one thing I will say, and I actually wrote about it over at Fantasy Alarm as I'm looking at it here, he is the single high safety killer for the Jets.
Could be a Mechie week now.
Mechie's the one that I wrote up. And actually, my last sentence, you can read it over at Fantasy Alarm. Mechie will have more fantasy points than Mitchell in week 14. Book it. Okay, that's 2 sentences. Those are my last 2 sentences that I wrote. Yeah. Atlanta plays the second most, Atlanta plays the second most single high in the league. That's who Mitchell just torched.
Yeah.
Now this week they're getting Miami, who plays a ton of 2 high. So I'm a little down on Mitchell, if I'm being honest, Drake.
And I'm with you. I get it totally. So that's why even if just in it for DFS, if people out there are just watching this to learn about players this week, no one's going to play John Mechie. They're all going to be chasing the points last week from A.D. Mitchell. So nice, maybe a sneaky play there with John Mechie.
Yep. And I will tell you, if he comes up here, we're not going to lock him in, but it's good to opine about him nonetheless. But
he's better than some of these guys. Good Lord. Oh, hey, we got some action here. All right.
You don't need a reason to lock in Tyler Warren. But if you are looking for one, Jacksonville's in a tier of their own against tight ends for the season. However, it is a tier below Cincinnati. It's tight ends against Cincinnati is like up here. Yeah. Tight ends against Jacksonville is like here. And then everybody else is just all down here. So again, you don't need a reason to lock in Tyler Warren. Do you have as much optimism as I do for him in this matchup? Because the last couple of weeks, it's kind of not been as good as it was early on in the year for Mr. Warren.
Yeah, no question. And maybe the injury to Daniel Jones has hurt him a little bit. But last week, 3 for 22, did get saved with a touchdown, at least. The week before that, again, only 45 yards. So they're getting Alec Pierce involved a little more. You got Josh Downs healthy. You've got Pittman, obviously, always there. And, oh, by the way, this guy, Jonathan Taylor, that Bogart's a ton of touches. So, I mean, it's such a great matchup. I think both tight ends in that game are going to do great, by the way. I think Brenton Strange is going to go off as well. I have a lineup. I'm actually starting Tyler Warren and Brenton Strange. I'm flexing him. So I am in on these guys. And if this game gets a little sideways and they've got to throw more than ever, I mean, why not look at Tyler Warren here? So I'm for it. It's tough for me, even at a maybe depressed performance level the last few weeks, to say we're going to hit anyone higher than Tyler Warren going forward here. So I'm fine locking him in.
The only tight end I would say that if it had to be, you see those things on X like all the time, like these are the only receivers I would take over a player.
Yeah.
Only tight end that I can definitively state as of right now that we're recording this, Trey McBride's the only tight end I would 100% take above Warren. Because you look at Bowers, he gets Denver. Yeah. I don't want to mess with that. I mean, my goodness, Geno might get sacked more than the number of passes he completes in that game, to be honest. So Warren is, I think, a great spot this week. So we're definitely going to lock him in. And then we do get Bijan down in the flex. Whenever you get an elite player, you pretty much have to lock him in. But it's not an ideal matchup with a tough Seahawks defense and Atlanta being touchdown dogs. But we pretty much have to lock in Bijan. Right.
Let's just hope that he doesn't get usurped by Tyler Algier more and more. But I mean, listen, 2 out of the last 3 weeks, the guy scored 30 points in fantasy here. What are we doing? It just takes one touch for him to go off here. And he did get 7 targets last week. So if we can keep that going again against Seattle, we'll be fine.
And I will do a little hashtag analysis here. I don't like this trend of low, high, because that's putting us for a low for our next game here. Hashtag analysis there. So,
but you're right.
I'm just going to spin again. I'm not. You can't sell me on any of those four, and I'm not even going to try to.
I would never want to.
Optimism.
I'm not. Listen, we're recording this too early. I haven't had a drink yet.
I mean, well, yeah, fair enough. So we did talk about that game. You like that game in a dome. Matt Stafford coming off easily his worst game of the season. Mm-hmm. Do we go back to the well with Stafford in week 14?
Well, here's the thing with Stafford. They're going to want to look better than they did last week. the thing with him, he does not run. He has to throw 3, 4, 5 touchdown passes to come through for us, or he just becomes kind of a guy on the slate. That said, can he throw us 4 touchdowns against Arizona? Absolutely. No question. Perfect conditions. This team needs the 1 seed. They have to play indoors. I said on a podcast the other day, if someone spit in the wind during a Rams game, Matt Stafford would fumble. I'm okay with Matt Stafford if we want to lock him in.
Yep, I'm good with locking him in. And I know I just said that, Bowers in a tough matchup against Denver. He shows up down there in our flex spot. You're running 2 tight ends in a seasonal league. It's not exactly far-fetched to do it here, but is Bowers worth it when we still have 7 spins left to go?
Yeah, no, not with all that spins here. I'm with you.
We're going to just move on. We'll take Stafford and move on and see what we can do.
Boy, 3 years ago, this is a great spin.
It sure was. And now we have the 2 wide receivers there that coming into the season, everyone was excited about. Week 14, I don't know if you can find anybody who's excited about Justin Jefferson or DK Metcalf. So do we lock in either one of these? Because if Jefferson cannot do it this week against Washington, and this is a very bold take of me 14 weeks into the season, I'm out.
No, I have no interest in playing Justin Jefferson at all. I mean, even though the Commanders give up the 6th most points as a unit to wide receivers, I mean, what are we talking about here? We're talking about J.J. McCarthy coming back again from whatever mysterious injury they make up for him this week. And it's not happening. It's not going to happen. And I think from last week, Washington with Dan Quinn playing defensive coordinator as well as head coach, I thought they played kind of inspired football. They looked all right. They're competing out there at least. They haven't given up. So, yeah, I don't really have any interest in Justin Jefferson with that quarterback.
And I know there's no moral victories in the NFL, but Jaden Daniels is coming back. Maybe that kind of, hypes everybody up. But let me ask you this about Justin Jefferson. Just because you said you're out with J.J. McCarthy, what if 9's under center?
Oh, no, I mean.
His alter ego.
Yeah, I think I'm still out because it doesn't matter at that point. You could have 6, 7, 9, whatever the kids are saying these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do like his little goofy alter ego. That is fun. If he was playing well, you could have a whole gimmick about it.
Hey, we all have ways that we deflect. We all have ways that we deflect. I default to humor. He defaults to an alter ego. Totally fine. So to each their own. So despite the all 2022 team that we have here, we're going to pass on all these guys. So we're going to pass. We're going to spin. And where we go now, we get a 2025 guy.
Oh,
number 1 on the board. Number 1 in your hearts. Should just change his number. Number 1 on the field. That'd be totally fine. We're going to take Devon Achane.
This team's coming together, brother.
This is much better than the last one that you and I did. I think it was a Thursday night where we couldn't get Puka for the love of God. We couldn't get him.
We're going to win some money here.
I sure hope so. Okay, let's do this. You talked about Tampa Bay. You kind of like them in this matchup against New Orleans. I am petrified of locking in Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah.
You can kind of talk me out of that or kind of validate my concerns.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to talk you out of it. I mean, no, Big Mike's not going to play in this game yet this week. Or Jalen McMillan. So they're next week options for us. But this week we still have Godwin. He's back, dropped a touchdown, and it just hasn't been there at all for Emeka Egbuka. Teams have figured out that he's their guy. He's getting better coverage, and it's just not there. I mean, it's not the guy that we saw the first 5-6 weeks of the season. So could he go off and have a 2 touchdown day? Sure. But I think we can find another option at wide receiver here besides Emeka Egbuka. If this was week 5, sure, lock him in 100%.
I mean, shoot, I think I like Chris Olave in the same game more than I like Emeka Egbuka. So,
and and also, by the way, Bucky Irving's back. He's going to see some snaps. He can see some targets. It's crazy. It took Bucky Irving coming back for Rachaad White to play the role he's supposed to play, and be the pass catching back out of the backfield on 3rd down. So I don't love Egbuka at all. Shaheed, forget about it. Cam Little, give me a break.
I know, again, it's only 1 game slate, but I do believe the winner of the Fantasy Alarm sponsored main event contest on Thursday night, I'm pretty sure Brandon Aubrey was in the winning lineup.
It's unbelievable. I just put out a tweet the other day. It's actually getting some traction. I said next year in redraft, and this happened in my home league, it's round 9, round 10. Instead of taking a 3rd or 5th running back or whatever, and some receiver you're going to drop in week 2, just take Brandon Aubrey. Yeah. It's not crazy. I know people go, oh, you got to wait for the last round to take a kicker. Why? No, you don't. Not if you got a guy that can hit 65 yarders like that every single week.
I mean,
I
we
have
have
no problem taking Brandon Aubrey in the 10th round.
and we have K balls this year. We might have like K squared balls next year, and they'll be kicking them from 70. Go ahead, draft Brandon Aubrey at 10th, 11th. I'll be there in the 12th or 13th drafting Kaimi Fairbairn. And as long as he plays in a dome, I'm beautiful.
I had a Fairbairn tweet the other day as well. I told people to pick him up when he was coming back. Like, let's go nuts. Pick up. He's great. Him, Myers, Aubrey, whoever you can get. Those guys, they're automatic.
I saw that post on X, and I looked and I was like, Drake have had him all season, and week 6 was horrible because guess who had to go get a kicker in every single freaking league when Houston was on bye and he was hurt. Gotta love when you lock in on one kicker everywhere when it works. It's very nice, but
it's all right. I picked him up at a bunch of spots.
That bye week definitely stinks, but we do not want Cam Little or Ibuka, so we're gonna spin again and see if we can get another stud, and we do get Genty, but if I didn't want Bowers against Denver, I don't want Genty against Denver.
No, and I made the mistake in the Kings Classic that you and I drafted at the Fantasy Football Expos. I took Ashton Genty in the first round, and
I mean,
that was. I took him over. I believe I took him over Puka Nacua. I should get my.
But I mean, look at it back then. If again, hindsight's 2020. So yeah, in a perfect world, it looks kind of dumb.
We thought that Matthew Stafford had a bad back. And
Stafford wasn't walking. No one knew if he was walking. He was sitting in that hyperbaric chamber outside of the facility for what felt like 23 hours a day.
The universe is trying to tell us to take AD Mitchell here, by the way, but
we're not going to do it.
Valet, try the Valet. He's getting, he's getting work. I think we have enough spins left though. We don't have to get down to the Valet and AD Mitchell range yet. That's a Thursday nighter right there. It's like, all right, we got Valet and Mitchell. We're in.
And I'm looking at here. Yeah, there's some snow in that Buffalo game, perhaps, but I would take Jamar Chase. I would take Zay Flowers.
I live in upstate New York. It is cold. It has snowed all week. It's not fun outside in upstate New York right now.
That's fair. I would take Puka. I'd take Devontae. I would take Luther Burden above Valet and Mitchell, especially with Roma Dunze being ruled out. I would take Michael Wilson, probably going to get 97 targets this week with no Marvin Harrison Jr. I would take any of them here, and I get one of them. In Devontae.
Look at this.
Look at that. Earlier, you were like, if we get a good quarterback and maybe a stack, but likely not. You got Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton on spin number 1, but you know what? The Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton appearance had to happen so that you could walk for them, so you could run to get Stafford and Adams 7 spins later.
Right. And I made it wasn't even a joke earlier, the statement early in draft season where I said, you don't have to draft Puka Nacua in round 1, take the multiple round discount and just draft Devontae Adams. And he's shown now that he's the goal line back essentially for the Rams. I don't care what his injuries are. If he practices for 5 minutes a week, it doesn't matter. He plays every Sunday and he's unbelievable. I'm fired up for this stack. Now, we're going to keep Stafford and, we're going to rock and roll here. Hell, maybe we get Puka.
Yeah, come maybe. On. And a week, I think the Thanksgiving week, I had Hutchinson Brown on, and we were recording. And he goes, "Well, we just got the Rams goal line back," and I was like, "That's perfect. We will take that." Because I looked, and actually, do you know? Right, I think it was over the last 4 weeks, I believe it is. Devontae Adams obviously leads the Rams in red zone targets. Do you know Colby Parkinson is second with only 1 fewer red zone target than Adams? And Nakua's not even on the field in the red zone. They don't even care about him. He's going up there catching balls like this, going that way, and they're like, "Hey man, just take a break here in the red zone. You're fine." Just
that is an incredible stat. You could run Parkinson out there in DFS, try to catch a cheap flyby there, but if he doesn't score, he's dead.
Well, sure, but that's like most tight ends in DFS anyway, so it's no different. But all right, we are out of locks. We got 3 spins left. We have a really good lineup, so it would be a real shame if these 2 wide receiver positions were to screw us. I mean,
Waddle.
2 spins left, so we're out of lock. So basically, we're now at the duo now, or we got to take a lock from somebody, which we honestly really can't, if I'm being honest. So it's basically, do we keep spinning for better than Metcalf Waddle, that duo, or do we kind of say, hey, this is we're going to try the floor with everybody that we have and hope Waddle and Metcalf are kind of our upside plays?
Waddle, I was listening to my podcast partner, John Hansen, on Sirius XM this morning doing his Skank Squad gimmick. And he had Jalen Waddle on the Skank Squad. And listen, DK Metcalf, we could do without him. He stinks, especially with the quarterbacks play there. And there's everything about that Pittsburgh team just needs to get blown up. And Metcalf's a shell of himself. He can't separate it all. Waddle, though, he's a guy. It only takes one play. He's
Yeah.
playing the Jets, but it is in New York. I'd like it a little more at home. But Waddle, he's been tricky the last few weeks. You know what? We got 2 to go. I'm fine. Colby, if you want to, let's shake it up.
Yep, I am good with it. That's with how much we were going on about that there. I think I'm petrified of McLaurin, but we do get Jaden Daniels back in Minnesota. Perimeter receivers have hurt them. I'm looking at it here. Actually, on the season, most yards per route run on the boundaries for the year there. So I kind of like that, and I'm never going to throw JSN back. So I think we're kind of stuck with this lineup unless you want to unlock somebody, which I don't think we should. I think this is it. I think this is the lineup.
That's a great lineup. I mean, we look at, let me pull up, I just want to look at McLaurin's numbers here when you come for what he did last week. I mean, 60% of the routes, 30% target share last week, 41% of the team's air yards, tons of end zone looks here. I mean, I'm in. I mean, Terry McLaurin unlocking things. Jaden Daniels back again this week. JSN at this point, the best receiver in fantasy football. This is winning money. If we don't somehow win $1 bazillion on this, there's something wrong with this game.
Well, we're projected 30th. So, but hey, projections don't matter. They got to go out there and play the game. You know, they got to go out there and play and see what happens. So that's a pretty darn good lineup. But now we got to pick from the players in our lineup of the projected total shown on the screen. Which players are you most confident in exceeding their fantasy point projections here?
Wow. Okay.
I won't bury the lead. I'm going to take one. What do you think? I'm putting Tyler Warren. I love tight ends against Jacksonville. So give me Warren over 12, 4 for 40 and a touchdown. Easy peasy over.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like who's he? I think McLaurin to get over 12.
Yep.
Is pretty doable. How many do we have to pick?
We got to pick a minimum of 3, so we need one more. I have one that's kind of catching my eye, but I don't want to say it because if you have another one, I'm cool with going with four players for I think a 10x payout. Unless you take
how many points does Stafford get for a touchdown on this?
4.
Okay, that kind of hurts. Who are you thinking? I mean, any of these guys, they need big days. You like Devontae?
I mean, he's the goal line back.
I mean, if you're going to give Devontae the over, should we put Stafford on there as well?
Twist my arm. Let's go for a 10x payout.
All right.
Easy peasy. We'll pay 1,000 tokens. See if we can get 10,000 tokens paid out with some production there from Stafford, Warren, Adams, and McLaurin. So that is everything that you need to know amongst all the injuries, all the weather, all just the hoopla for week 14 of the NFL season. So, Drake, why don't you let everyone know where they can find you and what you have going on the rest of this fantasy football season?
Yeah, so check me out. I am over on Twitter, Blue Sky, at Drake Fantasy, Drake Fantasy Football on Instagram. I'm doing TikTok. I'm so old. It's so weird. But yeah, check me out. I'm doing Fantasy Points podcast. I got articles over there. I do some videos and content at Fantasy Pros, The Huddle, Sportskeeda. Just search me out on X and you'll find all my content there.
I'd say you're not old. I mean, you dropped a 6'7" reference. You're on TikTok. I think that automatically at least takes 6 or 7 years off your age.
TikTok, they got to have a landing page. You can't just open it up and it's boom, 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 boom. People in your face everywhere. Like, relax with that.
Well, whatever you're seeing on TikTok, I'll see it in 2 weeks on Instagram Reels. So that's where I'll be living. So
there you go.
That's right. Make sure you give Drake a follow at Drake Fantasy over on X. You can find me at Colby R. Conway. And like I mentioned on the Thursday show this week with Will Ty from FantasySpin, there's no better time to get in on the action now. Spin to win, have some fun, experience the newest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. So head over to the Google Play or the Apple App Store. Make sure you download FantasySpin. We want to see you in some of these week 14 contests, ideally below our lineup here, but we want to see you in there nonetheless. So download the app and we will see you on the leaderboard. What's up, y'all? Hope you enjoyed the content. For the avoidance of doubt, please note that I, Colby Conway, am a DFS player entering these contests under the username Colby Conway. The strategies and recommendations in this video do not necessarily reflect the views of FantasySpin. Please play responsibly and visit fantasyspin.com/responsible gaming to take advantage of FantasySpin's responsible gaming resources.